All right, moving on. Well, the US has labeled the Balochistan Liberation Army as a foreign terrorist organization. The announcement made by the Department of State comes after the BLA or Majid Brigade was designated a specially designated global terrorist organization in 2019. In a statement, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that the move demonstrates the Trump administration's commitment to countering terrorism. Recent BLA attacks have further inflamed tensions between Pakistan and India, with Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir accusing New Delhi of fueling the violence from US soil. Prominent Baloch activist Mir Yar Baloch said that the US decision was nothing short of a diplomatic disgrace, adding that Balochistan is not a province to be claimed but a nation of its own right. We'll talk about this with our guest who are joining us at this point in time. Emir Mustakhan, Baloch senior journalist from the United States, with us on the show. Razak Baloch, Secretary General of Baloch at American Congress, USA. Major General Gigi Dwivedi, Global Strategic and Defense Expert, with us on the program as well. Last but by no means the least, Surinder Singh Lali, Foreign Affairs Expert, and Sumit Peer, Senior Political Commentator, also joining us on the program. Sumit Peer, I'll begin with you. Well, what do you make of the Americans calling the BLA a terrorist organization? When they talk about, not standing with terrorism, then why are they entertaining Asim Munir? Then why are they saying that they want to do crypto business with Pakistan, which is the biggest proponent, the creator of terrorism in the world? What is this hypocrisy all about, and how much is Pakistan to blame for this kind of a labeling towards BLA?
Vinny, thank you for having me on your show, sir. Very good question. Look, it is utter American hypocrisy. It is utter American double standards. It is the politics of convenience. It is the foreign policy of the quarter or other week or month what they work on nowadays. Now, I don't understand. Is Trump's ego so fragile? Last time he tweeted and a Baloch leader kind of replied to his tweet or this truth post saying, look, Balochistan is not Pakistan. It's an independent province or a country. And whatever are the resources of Balochistan will be determined and decided by the Baloch people, not by Pakistan or a Pakistani general. This man's ego has crossed so much of level, and it has reached the sense of absurdity that he declares BLA as a FTO. Now, it is all done because Munir must have plundered him loot and, must have promised him this Rico deck. The fact remains, Munir tried to sell Rico deck to Saudis. He even tried to lure Russians at one point of time. He tried to lure Chinese. He tried to lure Europe. Now he is trying to lure America. Now Rico deck has world's second biggest copper and the gold reserves. But the fact is that the land belongs to Baloch and it's a Baloch territory. By designating the legitimate freedom organizations as, FTOs. And what is Munir? Munir is the perpetrator of Pulwama. He is the man behind the Pahalgam attacks. He is the biggest terrorist in the uniform. And one of the Pentagon officers have already called him. He's Osama bin Laden in uniform. Now, if this man is hosted and you're giving him all the Baja, Gaja and Tamasha in US and the legitimate people who are foreign, freedom fighters, you are designating them terrorists because you want to cut a deal for minerals of Balochistan with Mullah Munir. That is what your whole game plan is. That is why after 5 years, suddenly you woke up and say, this BLA's Majid Brigade is FTO, because they dare to reply you. They called you a bluff. They called you, look, you can't cut deals with Pakistan. The territory doesn't belong to Pakistan. It is this man, Vineet, who has crossed all the levels of absurdity. It's I, me, myself. It's the height of narcissism. It is that syndrome which can destroy the nation. Even once his mother told that don't get him into the politics, he can destroy the whole America. And that is what he is doing. I'm very sorry that, BLA is kind of designated as a FTO. But what about BRAS? What about BLF? Because again, Americans are playing dirty here. They don't want to touch BRAS. They don't want to touch BLF because they want to have even a balance, check and balance again Munir. If you are not able to deliver, okay, BLF is free, BLA is free. BRAS is free. Now, after designating as a FTO, Vineet, so what do you say? You freeze their accounts. You arrest their people. They can't travel anywhere. You can seize their passports. You can check their funding. You can put them in surveillance in America and Europe. And any Baloch today, after being designated as FTO, BLF, BLA and Majid Brigade, you can say they are part of Majid Brigade and you can put them under surveillance.
Okay.
And you are given Pakistan a license to kill. You are given Pakistan a license to, do a genocide in Balochistan.
All right, Sumit, we have a house full today. Let me also rope in Mr. Mustakhan, senior journalist, Baloch senior journalist from the United States. Mr. Mustakhan, I hope you can hear me, sir.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Mustakhan, what do you make of this, labeling of the BLA as well as hosting Asim Munir twice in less than a few months?
Yeah, thank you, sir. I think you know a lot about foreign policy because you have traveled a lot. I believe so, and this has been, you see, quite distressing because Asim Munir had less than 40 hours earlier threatened to blow up the world
Correct.
from the US soil. He was speaking in Tampa, Florida, in which he said if Pakistan feels that Pakistan is being defeated militarily, then he is going to blow up half of the world. It is on record. It's very shameful that this corrupt, morally bankrupt American administration has designated the Baloch freedom fighters as terrorists. It is no secret that the US military itself is the biggest terrorist in the world. They have the blood of Vietnamese on their hands. They have the blood of Afghans on their hands. They have the blood of people around the world on their hands. They cannot be the moral guardians of the globe. They are, right now, I feel ashamed to say that the person who is in the White House is the closest buddy of Jeffrey Epstein, who every American hates like hell. Even his own constituents, the MAGA in America, they hate Jeffrey Epstein. This guy, this Asim Munir, he has come and he has sold this cryptocurrency to Trump's very close buddy, Steve Witkoff. As you know, I don't think Marco Rubio is making the policy at the State Department. In many, many crucial areas of the world, Steve Witkoff is making the policy. He's making the policy regarding Pakistan. He's making the policy regarding Iran. He's making the policy regarding so many things because he is President Trump's golf buddy and very close business partner. Their sons have launched that World Liberty Financial for cryptocurrency business. It's a very corrupt system here now. As you can see, the IMF had bailed out Pakistan time and again, and you could, it is all widely published that the Pakistani military had provided the Ukrainians with arms, and that is when the IMF, you see, helped them with the bailout. So it's a very corrupt international system. The CIA is actually calling the shots. Most interesting thing is in every embassy, in American embassy, there is an officer who monitors human rights. But what happens is the CIA comes in and say, no, just forget about whatever this guy is saying because we are going to take care of it. And that's what is happening now. And as you know, at this time, we have a president who is totally transactional. He has actually gotten rid of hundreds of career bureaucrats. I really don't know where this American foreign policy had headed for. Thank you.
You're quite right about that, General Dwivedi. How do you look at this, turn of events, especially some of these statements that have been made on American soil? There's saber rattling happening when it comes to nuclear weapons, and the Americans are allowing it, and they're calling the BLA terrorists.
Absolutely, Vineet. First and foremost, I think world knows, and also America knows, whom to deal in Pakistan, because Pakistan is run by the Pakistan Army. It is the chief who is the person to deal with, and their political dispensation is only a front face. So therefore, they are dealing with the chief of the Army Staff Field Marshal Asim Munir. Point number two, that today America's foreign policy stands totally commercialized. It's all commercial business. There's nothing known as foreign policy or even defense policy is all commercialized. And Asim Munir, besides being the chief, he is also heading the economic wing of Pakistan. He is also brokering the economic deals. So he is the person who is actually brokering all the deals with Trump and his lackeys like Witkoff. So we should not be surprised as to what exactly is happening because it's all give and take. It's all how Trump, his ego is being fulfilled, and more than that, how America is pursuing a very short-term interest. Once America had declared TRF as a terrorist organization, now Asif Munir was pressurizing Americans, and he have good relation with the American generals like General Corell. He had been invited twice on his behest, so he has been able to orchestrate this declaration of Balochistan Liberation Army as a terrorist organization. In summation, I just like to make two important points. First and foremost, Pakistan Army is basically today headed by the terrorist generals, and therefore they are the ones who are actually creating major problems in the region. Secondly, Asim Munir is actually a person who is ideologue. He is not an army professional general. He is more of an ideologue, and he is making very, very provocative statement, whether it is nuclear assets or whether it is something to do with the world at large. Like they will, fire missiles at the Indus, they will destroy half the world along. Well, I think this man himself is also off the grid. So I think India should take very serious steps and not tolerate these type of statements being made from America, which consider themselves to be Indian allies and also the ones who are the beacon of a democratic system. So all I can say is that we should take a very tough stand, draw very clear red lines, and stand with the Baluchi people because they are under repression, they are under, genocide is going on, and human rights are being violated at will. I think this is the time we need to express our full support to the people of Baloch.
Fair enough, sir. Fair enough, sir. Mr. Razak Baloch, what do you expect that India will do now? There obviously is a bonhomie now between the Americans and the Pakistani, which the people of Balochistan, of course, and the people of India do not heed to, do not prescribe to. But the fact of the matter is that the ISI, the military, and the puppet government in Pakistan is here to stay. The system is not going to change unless countries like America and India and perhaps even Russia and China understand that the dangers that Pakistan poses. The general is announcing nuclear war, from the United States, which obviously should be construed in the baddest light possible.
I thank Newsx for this opportunity, and we live in America, and let me explain a little bit and then I'll come back to your question. You see, the Pakistan army is so weak, they came running to America to ask for help to put BLA on the terrorist list. And the general said, there are 1,500 people. So for 1,500 people, Pakistan has no shame to come and cry in front of USA to do this. So it means they are already defeated, and the Baloch nation is with the sorry, the Baloch nation is with the freedom fighters. There is no distinction between this group or that group. All the groups are fighting for their homeland. When George Washington has a right to take up arms, we have a right to take up arms. United Nations allow us to take up arms to free our land. Balochistan was a free country and will be a free country. And the irony is, Pakistan is threatening they're going to blow up the half of the world. So our leader Tarachand Baloch is approaching the State Department that Pakistan must be sanctioned and must be kicked out of the United Nations the way they behave. Like Sardar Ataullah Khan said, this Pakistan army is enough to destroy Pakistan. There's no need for politics. So that's why we are not doing politics anymore. We are not going to go to their Senate and Assembly or Provincial Assembly. That's why we have taken up arms. And they don't understand that American army is going to be on the soil of Balochistan to kick out China, not Baloch. Baloch cannot be kicked out from their own land. And Baloch fighters not going to allow any country to take up our gold and mineral resources. We're going to safeguard them. We're going to kick whoever is going to be with the criminal Pakistani army. We're going to kick them out. They have to talk to the Baloch people if they want to come to Balochistan. That is my point. And we are trying to approach the other departments of USA that Pakistan must be sanctioned. That's my point.
All right, fair enough, Mr. Lali. Should Pakistan be sanctioned? But look at the tide, Mr. Lali. You know, we're thinking of sanctioning Pakistan. We're thinking of educating the world of how dangerous this country can be. A man who runs this country is saying that if something happens to us, we'll take down half of the world with us. And then you are actually banning perhaps, you know, some of the people who are tired of their torture, who are tired of the way they've been treated by the Pakistani Punjabi military generals, that is the Balochistanis.
Vineet, I wanted to start on a serious note, but you said the Punjabi word. So Pakistan reminds me of the famous Punjabi called Parminder in Sholay. When he gets thoroughly intoxicated and climbs up a water tank and says that if he doesn't get married to Basanti, he's going to jump. So this is what Pakistan is to the world. I mean, they are the biggest blackmailers. That rogue insurgent army is the biggest terrorist organization, which openly a few miles away from Mar-a-Lago says that, we'll take half the world with us. I mean, I don't blame Pakistan anymore. It's half the world who sold their, actually sold their soul. I mean, 34 felonies, 1 conviction, 2 impeachments, and 7 bankruptcies. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the 47th President of the United States of America. And as Mr. Khan said, the jury is still out on the Epstein files. And on top of that, that failed marshal called Mr. Munir goes and says that he should be given a Nobel Prize. For what? I mean, it's shameful. And Vineet, there are 4 ways I wish to describe, like very distinguished people before me also said, and if I want to summarize, the very mercurial, mercantilist, megalomaniac monarch is how I define Donald J. Trump. It is shameful that as much as America stood for freedom, liberties, and rights, and that all that facade which they created, and then they destroyed countries like Iraq, Afghanistan, and other nations, they actually ought to be shameful because they're inviting a general who himself anointed himself as a field marshal for lunch, where the democratic leader who had the maximum mandate, Imran Khan, is sitting in jail. Vineet, I think the two-nation theory is again in effect, and I stand in absolute solidarity with Mr. Razak and Mr. Khan. And this time when I say the two-nation theory, I'm referring to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan. Inshallah, they should be independent nations very soon. We need over 7,000 people are missing. Those people have been protesting outside in Islamabad and nobody cares about them. It is so sad that instead of banning TLP and Lashkar-e-Toiba, I mean, they are openly, the army generals and army people in their fatigues are openly going and paying in these envelopes, the cadres at D Chowk and Faizabad for being a part of that symbolic protest. I mean, Masood Azhar and Sayyid Salahuddin are people who should be behind bars. And we need one last point is that, quite often people used to say that, Pakistan is a country where the country doesn't have an army is a country. So with the mercantilist Donald J. Trump as president, now I'd say that America doesn't have a president. The failed businessman, the megalomaniac president now has a country for which he's using for his best political and financial interest. I mean, his stocks have doubled, his worth has doubled. And I think by the time he gets done, which is going to be pretty soon in the midterm, he's going to probably be 5 times more richer, and he's going to probably pardon himself too in the Jeffrey Epstein case, Vineet.
All right. Well, we've run out of time. Sumit Peer, you raised your hand quickly before we go. What to make of this newfound chemistry between the Americans and the Pakistanis? Maybe Pakistan does not realize, or perhaps even America does not realize, that how dangerous a country Pakistan is.
Americans are the people, they will only realize when they will start getting body bags from Pakistan. Till the time, Americans are not going to realize. That's the number one. You see, I want to draw one analogy. These Americans have bombed half of the world in the name of human rights and democracy, right? Now, let me draw a parallel here. You are going and bombing Iran and telling them, look, you can have a nuclear bomb tomorrow. You can have a nuclear bomb tomorrow, which you will use against Israel and you will decimate Israel. Okay? We come and bomb your Fardo, Isfahan and all. Okay, point taken. Now, there you have a jihadi general who is sitting on your soil and is threatening to bomb and destroy half of the world. By the way, India is not half of the world. India is 5% of the land and 10%, 18% of the population. When you call half of the world, you are talking of around 4 billion people and half of the earth. And this man has no diplomatic immunity. You should be arresting him or you should be deporting him. How do you draw a logic between attacking Iran and pardoning Islamabad? What is this logic? It is a futuristic thing. They might have a bomb. That bomb may be used against Israel, so we'll go and destroy them. But here you have a general who is a rabid jihadi, by the way, and he has so many innocent people's blood on his hand. He's telling you, forget India, I'll take down half of the world. And he is their state guest. Uska band baja swagat ho raha hai. And that man is neither arrested nor deported. And again, these Americans have not uttered one single sentence condemning that man. At least you condemn, you come and say, we are not with it. At least have some, those few English words spoken. But the hypocrisies have not spoken, because today, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, nobody knows what Trump will do. Nobody knows what Trump will do. They're absolutely clueless. They are just waiting and watching Trump like you and me, and they get to hear from the maybe newspaper or a half an hour before Trump has ordered this. I mean, Vineet, look at this incident when Trump in Saudi Arabia announced Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio brokered the ceasefire between India and Pakistan. If you look at that video, both of them are looking at each other. They're utterly surprised. What did we do? And he said, hey, Pete, can you get up? Mark, can you get up? They're looking at each other. I mean, that was a kind of a feeling. This man has crossed all limits of absurdity. These American double standards are grossly exposed. Tell me, why is Iran treated one way and why is Islamabad treated another way? There's one person who may have a bomb and destroy somebody, and there's a person who has bombs, and I is telling you, I'll take down the whole world and I'm your state honor and your guest. And let me tell you, we need one more interesting thing. Somebody told me he carried this Pakistan's highest civilian award in a suitcase with his lingeries. Whatever, and maybe jute chappal, and he gave that to General Michel Kurela. Have you seen the highest civilian awards carried in a attache and given to somebody at his home? Allogy Thoda award. I mean, that is this is the wakat of the public Pakistan's highest civilian honor award. And is this man a courier? Does he work for Amazon? I mean, people like Amazon and all, they do all this job. So, which is it? DHL, Amazon, Blue Dart? Which company does Munir work for?
All right.
I mean,
Okay.
All
right. We've run out of time, but appreciate everybody who joined us. It was a pleasure having all of you here. We take a short break now. We'll be back.